The 2026 Mercedes CLA is here and it has a frunk. What's good, guys? Welcome back to Ron's Rise. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video where the entry-level Mercedes is all new for the 2026 model year, bringing substantial changes underneath the familiar skin compared to its predecessor. The BMW 2 Grand Coupe competitor will be available for the first time as a pure EV. Alternatively, the cheaper version features a mild hybrid setup based around a small turbocharged gas engine, while diesels outside the US also power previous generations. The swoopy sedan ditches the oil burner. Now, as we've come to expect from a car that switches generations, the revamped CLA is bigger. Mercedes has stretched the baby Benz body by 1.3 inches to 185.9 inches, making it slightly longer than a previous generation C-Class. The not-so-compact luxury sedan is also a full inch wider than the old CLA, now at 73 inches. Now, the engineers raised the car by 1.1 inches to 57.8 inches and elongated the wheelbase by 2.4 inches to 109.8 inches. And although larger than the model it replaces, it's slightly more cramped for rear passengers. People sitting in the back have less legroom and elbow room, but a bit more headroom despite the sloping roofline. Now, Mercedes doesn't explain why the rear comfort has suffered on a downgrade, but logic says it's due to packaging compromises associated with the launch of EV versions. It's not all bad since the driver and front passenger do get a bit more room than before. Cargo capacity has also decreased by 1.9 cubic feet to 14.3 cubic feet, and that's not a significant loss, but if you get the electric model, since Mercedes has fitted the zero-emissions CLA with a frunk, well, there you go. You have a front trunk that's actually the company's first vehicle in 90 years to offer a front luggage area. Now, the new model can hold 2.5 cubic feet of cargo space underneath that hood. Now, exterior styling is an evolution rather than a revolution. Some will be tempted to say it's a facelift rather than a next generation model. Front and rear light bars echo the design trends of the 2020s, and there are more illuminated stars than you can count. Mercedes made the profile smoother with flush door handles to echo some of the bigger Benz sedans. Despite the rakish roof, it's still a sedan with a trunk instead of a more practical tailgate. Now, the sleek body has a drag coefficient of only 0.21 in the car's most aerodynamic version. And although it looks familiar on the outside, the cabin has been revamped. An upright dashboard hosts up to 3 screens surrounded by an area of glossy black plastic, where the instrument cluster measures 10.25 inches and sits next to a 14-inch infotainment screen, both offered as standard across the range. Now, the new CLA can be configured with a 14-inch passenger screen at an additional cost. Dubbed the MBUX Super Screen, the triple display setup features a large glass surface mimicking more expensive models with their screen-heavy dashboards. Customers can spend extra on a head-up display showing a 12.2-inch image of the driver's line of sight. A long list of options also include the Burnmeister sound system with 16 speakers throughout the cabin. Now, the turbine-style side air vents are reminiscent of the previous generation, but a rather basic-looking flat vent has replaced the triple circular center vents, where you can also see that the separate climate controls have been deleted, so you'll have to use the touchscreen to adjust the temperature and other settings. Now, on the flip side, the floating center console offers cup holders and a wireless charging pad above, along with a decent cargo area underneath. Now, a new multi-link rear suspension derived from the larger and fancier models is claimed to improve the ride quality. That'll also depend on the size of the wheels, which vary from 17 to 19 inches. Elsewhere, the panoramic sunroof is standard. It doesn't have a roller blind because Mercedes mentions it doesn't need one since it uses heat-insulated laminate glass with an ultra-thin infrared film to block radiation and reduce glare. As for power, the base CLA is featuring a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder engine that runs on the Miller cycle and works with an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. The transversely mounted M252 gets an all-aluminum crankcase and 48-volt technology with an electric motor built into that DCT. The Mercedes says that the 1.5-liter unit will be offered in 2 outputs without revealing the power numbers and with a choice between front and all-wheel drive. Now, if you're willing to go electric, there are 2 models to choose from: the CLA 250 Plus with EQ technology and the CLA 350 4MATIC with EQ technology. Now, the former has a single motor, rear-wheel drive setup with 268 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque. The latter adopts a beefier dual-motor, all-wheel drive layout with 349 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque. Both feature a rear-mounted 2-speed transmission, where the first one is tailored for city use, while the second one is for highway driving. Now, stick to the basic electric CLA, and you'll do around 0 to 60 in 6.6 seconds, and that beefier counterpart, well, that does the job in 4.8 seconds. Both are electronically governed at 130 miles per hour, 210 kilometers. It's worth noting that the 4MATIC model will operate in all-wheel drive mode only when extra power and traction are required. Now, the front motor will be decoupled in the other scenarios for greater efficiency. Now, if you're wondering how much it weighs, the dual motor tips out at 4,707 pounds or 2135 kilograms. Such is life with electric cars. The gas model should be substantially lighter without the chunkier battery pack. Speaking of which, the EVs share a nickel manganese cobalt battery with a usable capacity of 85 kilowatts. Now, Mercedes claims a maximum range in the WLTP cycle of 492 miles, 792 kilometers for the rear-wheel drive model, and up to 479 miles, 771 kilometers for its all-wheel drive counterpart. Since 800-volt tech is on board, DC fast charging is at impressive 325 kilowatts that is supported. In an ideal scenario, you can add up to 202 miles or 325 kilometers of range after only 10 minutes at a DC charging station. Now, near the end of the year, Mercedes intends to roll out a different flavor of the electric CLA equipped with a lithium ion phosphate or LFP battery with a usable energy content of 58 kilowatts. And an A-Class sedan won't join the CLA. Mercedes is slimming down its small car offerings, but is still giving wagon-loving Europeans a CLA shooting brake. Additionally, the GLA and GLB crossovers are getting the next generation models, so expect all four to spawn fully electric derivatives. Now, it hasn't been announced yet, but the incoming little G will likely be mechanically related to these compact vehicles. Mercedes will have the electric CLA out at dealers here in the United States later this year, with the mild hybrid gas model to follow. So, no pricing has been announced quite yet, but what do you guys think about the new CLA for 2026? And are you taking gas or are you going electric? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy the video today, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. But make sure you guys also check the links in the description if you want to help further support the channel. And subscribe to the channel, but click the notification bell so you don't miss one video. And we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.